Every individual needs the assurance to keep their mind at rest. Good to have you on another edition of Real Talk. Here we keep it real. That's what we do on relationship issues. And to do this thing here today, I'm not alone. I'm here with wonderful people, authorities, co-hosts, who will make it look like it's real. And joining me to do this Real Talk today is another queen. Laura, good to have you on Real Talk here today.
Hi, people. You're welcome to another episode of Real Talk.
And I have Queen of Africa herself, Anita. Anita, good to have you here today. You're looking good, baby.
Thank you. Evening, lady. You all are looking so vibrant, and it feels so good to be back on the show. So, welcome to Real Talk, everyone.
All the way
All
from
right.
Toronto, we have an authority in relationship. Join me to make a welcome for Sir George himself. Sir George, good to have you here today.
Good afternoon, ladies and viewers around the world. Welcome to this beautiful show where we're getting ready to the Valentine's Day. This is a topic that you need to hear.
All the way from Milan, we have Massive Mark, the man that makes things happen. Massive Mark, good to have you here today.
Wow, it's beautiful. It looks like Valentine already. What happened? Ladies, are you bringing the Valentine before 14th? Everywhere looks so.
Yeah,
Ah, my.
exactly. Talking about the Valentine,
Wow.
please could you can you give us the intro to Sir George program coming this Valentine on 13th of February? Please can you play that promo for us before we start? Can we have it?
Uh, yes, I think Sir George took his program all the way back to Canada.
Oh my God, it's
Anyway,
okay. So George, are you planning not to get us involved in that program? I think I'm still waiting for my tickets. Well, that's by the way. Good to have you all today on Real Talk. And today, remember, we've been saying relationship is the work of everyone, the people who are into that relationship. We say that for you to have a healthy and good relationship, it needs work, it needs investment, meaning the two parties involved, the two countries involved, the two colleagues involved need to put in work for them to make it a healthy and good relationship. And our question here today is this: if we can go all our ways, if we can do everything to put in all our best to make a relationship work, to make a relationship healthy, why then is commitment an issue in relationship? Now, what is commitment in a relationship? When we talk about commitment, we talk about being loyal, reassurance, letting the person that you're with, that I am there with you, come and concern. Being involved. The truth is that the majority of us are actually in relationship, but we are not involved. We're not loyal to our partners. So a lot of people develop this fear that makes them not to be committed in a relationship. Now, before we go to this today, let me start from Toronto, the man that is bringing love to us on 13th of February. Sir
12th,
George.
12th of February.
Oh, 12th of February, sorry about that. Beg your pardon. Sir George, what is commitment and issue in a relationship?
Commitment actually is basically what we call the sacredness of what God started with Adam and Eve. One man, one woman. In a committed relationship, you are committed to one another. And that commitment actually spells that you come in with non-judgmental attitude. You come in with a neutral heart in order to know the other one, because commitment means, like, even if I'm flawed at this moment, there is hope that I am going to learn from you, learn who you are, and be able to transform myself into that image that you originally want me to be. So commitment means that you are actually committed regardless of the circumstances that is facing you, and you want to see it from the entrance, inception, to the very end. Therefore, it is all about knowing who you are and relating to another person and making sure that you are selfless in your endeavor in order to invite that person into your own world, so that both of you can be looking in the same direction together rather than looking at each other. That's what you call commitment.
I like that. That is what's bringing someone into your own world. And now, you can't just bring someone into your own world without first being open to them, without letting them lay down their guides, letting them let go of fears. Now, Anita Baby, my African queen, and the way you're staring at me. Now, so we just say that you bring two people together, you have to bring the person. You have to let the person know that I've taken you, I've accepted you, I've seen you, I've welcomed you the way you are, so that the person can get committed. Now, if people are actually doing that, why are people afraid of committing?
Okay, very good question. You see, the thing about commitment, before you commit to someone, you must have accepted the person, just like what Sir George said. It takes a whole lot to be committed in a relationship. One, you like this person, and you maybe had a one-on-one with this person, and you can say, you know what, let's work it out. And when you talk about commitment, it has to do with you working it out. One person alone cannot commit to a relationship, and one of the issues people have with commitment is doubt. Okay, probably they're just coming out from a terrible breakup, and they're yet to heal. But people will say, "Oh, give love a chance." I for one, I'm one person that find it very difficult when it comes to commitment, because sometimes you're asking, "Okay, what is this person after?" And sometimes too, you're having a conversation with someone, you already know that I can't even sacrifice nothing for this relationship. So there's no point, being committed. So you just need to tell the other person, that guy or babe, this thing is not just, working. We can maybe just be business friends, colleagues, or something. But you see, intimate relationship, it can't really work, because you've been able to study the person over time, and you're like, you know what, I can't give my commitment to this person because I might not get the same energy. So those are some of the factors, okay, that affect commitment in relationship. Doubts, you're not so sure if the relationship is going anywhere. You're not even sure if this is who you want to be with. Because sometimes, yes, looks might just attract you based on, oh, okay, you're speaking with them on the phone. You even have situation where you guys will have a very good conversation, but when you meet one-on-one, first date, and everybody just punching their phone. Okay, I am like, okay, why am I here? Did we just come to check on our phones or something? So that way, when you get back home, you're like, okay, this is just going to be it. I don't see myself having anything, serious with this person. So those are some of the factors.
No, I think I just said it that a lot of people are afraid of committing to someone, probably because of the person's personality, the person's character, the person's vibe. All these things vary. You understand? Now, my question is this: a lot of people in our society today, you will agree with me, they understand that I'm not getting along with this, but they enter into a relationship with the person, knowing two way that they are not going to commit. Why do you think people do that?
Honestly, that part is what I don't understand myself. Okay, and it happens especially with the male folk. And then for the women, Most times when they don't like a man, the woman will show you. You understand? If they don't want to commit to you, most times women, they show it. They will even tell you, no, I don't want this relationship. I don't want all that. But a man will be with you. He already knows he's not going to commit, even in 10 years' time. This is not what he wants. But he will still be with you. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that part. Okay?
Massive
So,
Mike. Look, just make me laughing.
Yes.
Massive Mike, come and save us here.
Yeah, yes.
Why do men do that?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. It's good we're hearing all of these real heart touching expressions. I wouldn't know why men do that. I can't speak for the men gender, but one thing is a lot of men, most men believe things can be worked out. Um, women are fragile. Women tend to are more realistic. Women look into things deeper than men. We men see things most times on the surface, but you see sometimes the surface thing, looking at things on the surface helps in relationship. Because if you want to be too objective, too critical, too intense, then probably nothing will work. So you're talking about commitment, and Anita said some really great things there. But one factor about commitment is fear.
Yeah.
Fear, human fear. Human beings naturally exhibit fear, and fear is a factor for commitment. Now, what is that commitment we're talking about? Like you are saying here, it is a commitment in this case, into a relationship. And take note that relationship requires it's more than what we see. A lot of people don't know that there's something called sacrifice. The word sacrifice plays out in relationship. So if you have that fear, you can't commit into a relationship. Most times also why people fear is the past. They've probably gone through trauma, through some not very good experience, and they bring it again to a relationship, and there's fear. So fear makes you're not wholeheartedly involved in that relationship. You're still being tortured by that past, that trauma in the past. So, but all of these can be worked out. We are human beings. We learn every day. We adjust every day, and all it takes is for that
But
human.
can I ask you, if you're in a relationship with someone and the
Mhm.
person reassures you, reassurance is what most people need in a relationship. If you're in a relationship where someone reassures you of everything that you hear of, why would you still be afraid and still be in that relationship?
Because human beings are unpredictable. Lara was talking about women not wanting to commit themselves. So I mean, you're you're thinking anything could happen. So let me not be 200% into this because I'm not too sure of this guy, you know. And but people, men want to take that risk. You see, men take risks, but women don't. You ladies, like I said, you visualize. You want to, you want to, you look beyond now. You're thinking, I mean, is this guy worth putting my trust in? Is he worth it? So, George, do you agree with some of the things I'm saying about the men? Is that correct?
I'm actually coming to Sir George. Sir George, my question for Sir George. Sir George,
Yeah.
Laura said it that women are not into this testing. I want to call it testing. But a man who sees you, He doesn't have any feelings for you. He doesn't want anything with you. But you know, especially by this thing, they say men go by sight and women go by what they hear. So once a man sees it, he want to feel it, he wants to test it. So they get into you, whereas they are not into you. Why are men so? Laura said
Okay.
it, and Matthew might confirm it.
You
Why
know,
are men so?
fundamentally in the past, things used to be a little different. But you know, these days, because of the way things are, and because of the modernization of relationship, it's become so cosmetic. It's not real like it used to be before. I can understand where Laura was coming from, and thinking, because in the minds of men, usually a man sees a woman, the way the woman carries herself will say, is this a marrying type of a relationship that I'm entering into? Is she a potential, or is she the one that I can satisfy my physical urges with and then go on by my business? You see, now the way a woman carries herself will tell a lot to a man. Now, there are some that will look good and dress well, I mean, a three-piece skirt suit and, very corporate. But when you enter into them, it's a different issue altogether. But like what you guys said, men see, men, we're very visual. So I see a woman and I'm looking already, wow, she looks like a bottle of Coke, so beautiful and so nice. She's light skinned, she's chocolate, she's this, she's that, what appeals to me. Now, usually from a man's standpoint, that visual thing is the physical attraction. Now you start now talking to the lady and you begin to see her intelligence, how intelligent she is, will now let you know, is she the type of person that I can have conversation with, I can spend time with, get to know, Now, maybe at the very beginning, she looks good, she looks like the corporate woman and everything, but all of a sudden, you meet her, she starts talking about money and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, maybe this is the one I can pay for, and then have what I need and go on home. Do you understand? So usually, some of the things you guys are saying, Laura, you are right. But let me tell you something also about the women, the aspect of the women that we're talking about here is because of the way things have really the paradigm shift in our social world, whereby money becomes everything these days. The real fundamental love that and passion that we used to have is no longer that. Like what Mark was saying, that men see the overt things, they don't go in details. Women are very detailed in their orientation now, and that's why it helps with men when you are working in a relationship, because somebody said that love is blind. The marriage is an eye opener. But when you open eyes, close one, because if you open two eyes, you will always see problem. But what most women do not understand about men is the fact that opposites attract. A woman will, oh, we are not compatible. We are not compatible. I don't even know why you're doing this. I like to go. Why you don't like to go? No, opposite attracts. And that's the main thing there. Therefore, when you think compatibility doesn't mean that you guys like similar things. Compatibility doesn't mean that you guys are the same. One will be a talkative, the other one will be a listener. That's a good relationship. One will be a very social animal, going out all the time. The other one is they always like to stay home. That's a good relationship. What you need to learn from both of you is how to balance the equation. And balancing the equation is meeting halfway. I love to go out. She doesn't like to go out. Therefore, what do? I have to curtail my going out to the point where it doesn't become abusive to the other person. And therefore, she also will have to learn how to sometimes come out with him because he loves to go out. You go out sometimes with him, and then you have to stay home and do things she likes sometimes. That is what you call true compatibility. Compatibility does not mean similarity in any way whatsoever. And that's where a lot of relationships fail. And that's something that we
And
need
that,
to pay attention to.
and that compatibility doesn't mean to be similarity, but it must agree. Both of you must agree. You must get along. You don't need to be similarity, but you must be getting along and
And that's the
connection.
question.
Am I right?
Understanding each other, communication. Communication, understanding the other person, understanding their
Yeah.
likes and their dislikes, understanding what makes them tick, understanding that, okay, he's a social animal. I don't like to go out. Therefore, if
Yeah.
I put a racehorse, if I put a racehorse and want to make a racehorse a turtle, I'm in trouble because that person, all that energy that they have can become, rather than propelling the love relationship to the moon, it can become gawky and sticky and very, nobody likes each other. It becomes fighting at home. I'm all okay. Well, I'm here. So what? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Thank you
I mean,
very
I'm
much.
here all day long. Nothing is happening. What are you doing? Just watching TV? But that's understanding one another. And this is,
Can, can,
and
I,
then
Okay.
when you have
can
a
I also
different,
say that? Can I add to say
yeah,
that
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think also it's good to also state that commitment doesn't really necessarily mean true love. Yes, somebody could be committed to a casual relationship and still not be in love in that relationship. I'm saying
Exactly.
this out of experience too. So
Exactly.
yeah, commitment is sometimes somebody could be committed to a particular person for some reasons. eh? You could like the ways and manners of a particular person, and you're just committed to that person in that. But you might not want to take it further to true love, being totally in love with that person. I don't know, Anita
Fantastic.
and Laurie. Anita
You're
and
very,
Laurie,
very correct. Let me
what do
tell
you
you,
say?
you know, the best marriage in this world have not succeeded because they were in love. They've not succeeded because they were rich or they were handsome or they were beautiful. Best marriage in life have succeeded because people involved were committed. You know, Anita,
That's
I
true.
have a question. I have a question for you. I just said that opposites attract. And he said that most times these men meet these ladies. Can you hear me? Anita, can
So,
you hear me? I'm talking to you. Yeah.
I can
He
hear you.
meets this lady, and the time the lady start acting, start behaving, then their intention changes. Now, there's this common saying that every man that meets a woman have one thing in mind to bed her before any other thing. So do you agree to that?
I do not agree with that at all. That's
I agree
false.
with that.
Mark, what did you say?
I agree
Question
with
is to
You
Anita.
agree
The
with
question
that?
is to Anita. The question is to
Okay.
Anita.
That's a
Wow.
dog.
I don't really agree with that. And secondly, everybody is entitled to their, way of belief and also opinion. I heard Massive Mag saying something about you can actually be committed to someone without loving them. But somebody like me, until I love you, I'm not committing nothing. Until I trust
Exactly.
you, I'm not committing nothing. Okay, so everyone has what really makes love beautiful or what they call love. But somebody like me, I know certain persons who will say the same. If I am not seeing commitment in your own angle, I will even withdraw my kind of commitment because I need the same kind of energy. I'm pouring into you, you need to give me back. Life is give and take. And like I always say, relationship, you define your relationship from the onset. That is where people get it all wrong. Sometimes if the guy is just coming to play, you ask question, what's your plan? Are you just looking for someone who you just want to feel like going to the movie? Yeah, there are guys that just need a girl who will just go to the movies with them, go to the park with them. They don't want anything serious. They just want a date. They just want to go on dates. They want to try new food, new restaurants and stuff. That's their aim. But until you have that conversation with him, you won't even have an idea that that's what he wants. And you're putting all your energy like, hey, I've gotten Mr. Right and all that. And he is just cruising. He's waiting to meet his Madam Right in quotes. So the word commitment, until you love someone, it's very difficult to really commit. And if you're not getting the same kind of energy, then definitely, naturally, that relationship will start withdrawing gradually. That's love or whatever you call it. At first, you're like, oh, I'm in love with this person. I'm ready to sacrifice. I'm ready to go all out for them. I'm ready to do anything to make the relationship work. But you discover that you're doing so much and the other person is not giving back. Man, the best thing for you, for your mental health, like they always say, is just to start withdrawing gradually and also have a conversation, because sometimes certain persons will want you to tell them they are not doing enough. They're thinking they're doing enough and they have no idea that you're not getting what the expectation is not just being granted. So when you have that conversation with them, then you understand where you are in the relationship, if there is a relationship in the first place.
Exactly.
Can I,
I
can
like
I, say,
that. I
can I
totally.
respond to her? Can I respond to what she just said? See,
It's okay. You can.
one of the major problems we have is that a lot of people enter a relationship. At the inception of that relationship, you already have goals in your mind. Let's just say, for instance, a lady is at the age of 30 or 40 or whatever, and the family is just pressuring this lady to be married. Well, what are you waiting for? Oh, your clock is ticking and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, you go out there seeking. Your goal is what? Marriage. What happens with that is most of the decisions you'll be making in that relationship from the very beginning is all spelling marriage, marriage, marriage. Maybe the other individual might not be so hasty like you to just jump into marriage and you expect it. And then maybe just because you want to please that person, you jump in bed with them, after maybe a few meetings or whatever the case may be. And then after the fifth or the sixth meeting, and you start asking, so where is this relationship going? So what are we really doing? Are we wasting our time? Because this happens all the time, simply because of your goals that you have already set before you enter the relationship, but you are forgetting that this relationship is step by step. It comes in stages. It goes from the outside of physical relationship or physical attraction to the emotional and mental and psychological attraction, then into the heart of the whole entire thing. So you have to be patient. Even when the guy is not acting the same way you're acting or behaving the way you want him to behave, you can be patient. You can also maintain your own integrity and your honor by limiting what you give out. But in the process, you are actually opening the door, leaving the yellow light on, not the red light. Because what you are talking about is you put the red light on, the guy runs away. But if you put the yellow light on, that's caution. If you put the green light on, that's wide open. That means that person is expecting you to give everything that you are supposed to give, in marriage, because you left the green light on. But when you put the yellow light on, which is the amber light, what happens? Your caution. You can't give everything you're supposed to give, but you can give them a glimmer of hope and give them consistently hope. We are working towards something. There is a goal, but we are still in the process. Every man and every woman at the beginning of the relationship put their best foot forward. They want to please the other. But after the dust settles, the cloud dissipates, you see the real person. That's why it is so important for us to take our time, learn the individual, try to relate to them, a culture, a good relationship, and a good communication with that person. Know who their core values are. And that way, as you continue in that relationship, eventually both of you will come together. Remember, none of us are perfect. The man is not perfect, the woman is not perfect. Enter every relationship with that mindset, because you have frailties, you have weaknesses. You're not perfect yourself. So you can expect the other person to be perfect and meet all your values. It comes through lengthy and long process of relationship with one another.
Just you're 100% correct. I am telling you, I think you're sounding this way because you're not in Nigeria. In
Yes, can I?
Nigeria,
Yes, I want to say that to Sir George. Sir George is saying real wonderful, extraordinary insights into relationship goal. But this is in an advanced atmosphere, advanced
not
environment.
advanced. This is the, oh, how is it supposed to be, not advanced. This is actually how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we have the larger number of human beings are not as articulate as this level of intelligence that George is putting on into the relationship. I am an African man. I've been to some African community, some African environment where what he's saying is like people they probably would be daydreaming to imagine what he's saying because the environment doesn't really put in all of these factors for them to come like this. So it's a good thing we state that we also have to understand where we're coming from. We have to. Sir George is talking from probably also the Western experience, you know. So, but it's not really so in some places. Some people are not this. I mean,
I disagree with you, Sir George. He's not talking from a waste. He's saying what it should be. If you look at our
okay.
society, that is why we are having a lot of problems in our society. People
Uh-huh.
get married this month and next month they say, I didn't know he's this, I didn't know she's this. Because people
Mhm.
we just grow relationship, we just jump into courtship. The next thing we are married, the next thing we're divorced. Because we don't grow relationship. Do you understand? Well, I want to Anita, you said a perfect thing. If I don't love you, I won't commit to you. People don't know that when somebody loves you, they said love is blind. When somebody loves you, the person do things ordinary they won't do. A lot of people want commitment before they will love, but it doesn't happen that way. Now, my question is to Lore. Lore, they talk about conversation, asking questions, understanding why we are in this. Now, in this part of the world, I'm asking this question based on the part of the world where I am. When a lady gets into a relationship and you start with asking questions, they tell her the situation. What do you say about this?
Exactly. That's actually what's happening in Nigeria. Once you ask as a lady, they just say you're desperate. They leave. I don't know if such a question is left only for the male folks. The lady just has to stay till the man is ready to ask the question, lead the direction of the relationship and all that. Once you as a lady open mouth say, what are we doing? Where are we going? You are just a desperate woman in Nigeria. I don't know how it is outside, but that's just the way it is. And this, I feel it doesn't favor the women because most times these men, they have two, three, four girls in their lives. You're just one of them. So you're just following him at the pace he wants. Your clock is ticking. The pressure is there. You understand? The pressure is there, and the man is just taking his time. He's getting everything he wants. This one comes to cook on Saturday. This one comes to cook on Tuesday. He's comfortable. He's not even ready to commit to any of them. And he expects you to just keep quiet. When it's your turn on Saturday, you come and do your own and go. Do you understand? Most times you might not even know. You might not even know. You might think you are the only one, and he has studied you and seen that okay, it's only on weekends you have one weekend he will give it to you. But you're not just going anywhere. Nothing is happening. That weekend he will give you that 48 hours, Saturday, Sunday, anything you want. You have his time. What happens between Monday and Friday? You don't know.
Okay.
There
But
Okay.
might be
George,
five
I think
girls in his
Lord
mind.
Jones, I
Don't
will call her.
forget.
I will call
You
you.
open your mouth and
Larry,
say, what
Larry, I will call you.
wait, let
Larry,
me elaborate what she said
Larry,
better
I
for
will
you to
call you Lord
understand.
Jones.
Yeah.
I will elaborate what she said. You're conversant with what is happening in Nigeria. I will use our legend musician as an example. Two-Face. When Two-Face was dating, he had several women in his life, even Davido. Do you understand? And people around you, around Annie, around Shoma, we are telling them, hey, don't complain, don't talk. Do you understand? Now, the society expects you. You don't talk, you don't call. Even when you know that the man you're dating have other women, They want to know that you're a good woman. By the time you don't complain, you don't get angry, to elaborate to what Laura said so that you can answer very well.
Can I just say something, because you just described something that a woman, a young lady, was talking about when the last time I was in Nigeria. This person was so comfortable to let me know, because there was no relationship. She opened up where I was at a barber shop and a beauty salon, and we're talking about this things. And she said, I have 6 boyfriends. One is in Ikeja, 2 in the island, 1 is in Festac, the other one is in Ikoyi. And what I do is, on Mondays, I know the one to go to in the Banana Island. You will always, have this thing to bring me over there. But I tell them that I'm in school so that they will not expect me to stay over. Therefore, the following day on Tuesday, I'm going to the one in Ikeja. The other on Wednesday is the one in Ireland. And the other on Thursday is the one in Festac. And I stay in Festac because the one that I use on the weekends is there. So from this place, I will go. And I know the places that I will take these people so that we will never meet the other person. So it's both ways. It depends on the individual. Some people have settled, this is the way I want to live my life at this stage of my life. And this is where, or maybe when I get like in my 30s, I can try to find a way to get a serious relationship. And that's what they do. And you would think she's the only one because, you call, they don't answer. When they answer, I'm doing my homework, I'm studying. Or they will whisper and say, listen, I'm in class, I'll call you back. And they say, okay, I will talk later. So these are the things that happen on both sides. So you have to understand the game that is being played. It is really a game of itself, and the participants are male and female. So we have to understand all of these things. But what we are saying, in the old days, we used to say, if you want a good one, go to the church. It's no longer the same. Even the church women are even worse than the regular women. Or go to the village and find you somebody. It doesn't work anymore. The only thing that I can say when it comes to any relationship is you got to pray. Whoever your God is, you ask that your God to prepare you and prepare the man to bring in your life so that even when they come, remember something. Women, you have to remember something. Not all greatest gifts come wrapped in silk. Some come in a brown paper sack. You have to tear the outside to see the quality on the inside. So sometimes that man that you are looking for will come raw, very raw, unprepared, even not as educated as you want him to be. But because of your nurturing, characteristics, you can nurture that person into greatness. But some of us already made up our mind. We want somebody who is tall, is bulky, he's this and he's that, he's rich. And you go into that relationship and then they suck you in until you begin to know the kind of person that's a devil's child. And they're going to do what their papa tell them to do to you. They beat you up every day, abuse you, and even bring women in your presence because they got money. Is that the kind of life you want to live all your life? So we got to be in our choices.
Okay. Anissa, how do you nurture a man who obviously he has other women? You are not the only one in his life. But before you answer that question, let's go take a quick break and we'll return. We'll continue. One day we'll be right back. This is great talk. Let's go for a break. Studio.
Yes.
today's world, changing your mindset.
The show is Real Talk. Before we went on break, we were discussing what is commitment an issue in a relationship. And we said a lot of things. And the question is here. Most men and even the women this time around are not ready for this relationship. You know, a woman once told me that and the men have taught them what they're doing. Wow. Now, before we went on break, Anita, I asked you a question. Now, so I just talked about nurturing a man into what you want. I can't tell you that most women are actually ready to build with a man who has nothing. But the problem is that the men they want to build, are they ready to build with her? Anita,
Okay,
Anita, can you hear me?
I didn't quite
Yeah,
get what you're saying. You're talking about how to love a man,
no,
even
I,
though
I,
dating.
no, listen to me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I just said you can actually be with a man. The most good thing don't come wrapped very well. You understand? They don't. They come disguised. That you as a woman, you can actually build with a man. So my question is this: how can you build with a man who you know that you're not the only woman in his life?
Okay, first of all, I will advise women out there, work on you, know what works for you, know your worth as a woman. A high valued woman knows her worth and will never settle for a man that has several women. Yes, sometimes they're very good with hiding this cheating thing, but if he's doing it to your face, you can feel the vibe that this guy has other women, then you just need to love you enough and know that, okay, he's not ready to commit to you. He has other plans, and you might not just be the right one. Maybe he's just been with you for convenience sake. Some persons are with a lady because she's got connections. Are with ladies because they feel she does all the cooking and she's homely. A man who want to be with a woman who is homely, who also want to be with a club girl, who also want to be with, the toxic lady. Because some men will say, oh, that's the woman that can set his brain on fire and stuff like that. So at the same time, as a lady, if you know your worth, you know why you are in that relationship in the first place. Because one thing I keep saying is, if you're able to define your relationship with this person, and you come to terms that, okay, you know what, I'm just chilling with you too, let's chill and enjoy Netflix. When Mr. Right comes, I'm definitely going to go with him. So we're just friends with benefits. There's a reason why I'm in a relationship with you. But if I don't have an idea, which is not possible, it's important for everybody to have an idea who they're dating, their plans with that person. Because, hey, what's your vision? Where are you? Laura said something about the fact that when a lady asks that question, it sounds desperate. That is not the time to ask questions. It's not after 3 years of being in a relationship. He's not said anything about marriage. He's not said anything. You guys are just seeing each other once in a blue moon. That is not a relationship. So you need to ask that question like, hey, who am I to you? It's important. Even though it sounds desperate, you need to know your stand as a man or a woman, because we even have situations whereby the man is like, okay, she's not ready. Are you ready to get married? And she's like, no, 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 I'm still 25. I mean, I'm just chilling. Okay. And a woman who is in her 30s, her priorities are different. She's looking forward to, oh, I want to settle down at a certain period in my life. So I'm not ready to just accommodate someone who is just going to play with my emotions and dump me. So I need to know from the onset, what are your plans for us? Yes, it's a conversation that must be, spoken about. You don't just have to, sweep it around the carpet and act like nothing is happening. So that should be the foundation of your relationship, because when you know what you're up to, then you will know whether you need to commit or not. That's it.
Now, massive man, Anita said it. He said high value women. If you're a high value woman, you will not settle for anything. And that's where our topic today comes in, commitment. If you're a high value woman in a society, they'll tell you, stay there and be high value, and your age is going. Sorry, I have to. Yeah, can you hear me? Yes,
Very
they'll tell you that. Yeah, so they expect you to take anything that comes with that relationship. Do you understand? They'll remind you that you're out of age, you're out of number. There's nothing like high value, nothing like self-respect because the age is no longer on your side. You know, most time I ask them in this part of the world, does it mean aging, does it take away somebody's words? Does it take away somebody's sense? Do you understand? Now, my question is this: if you're a high value woman, you should know the kind of relationship you should be in. Now, you're in a relationship with a man who you know he has other women, and you're a high value woman. Now, he's not committing to you, he's not loyal to you, he's not open to you. Vice versa, even a man or a woman, we have some nice men who want not in a relationship with maybe high value society ladies. Do you understand? They are not loyal to them, they are not open to them. You don't even know your left from your right in that relationship. Now, what happens?
Thank you very much. First of all, people are putting on very good points here. And we have quite some number of viewers too enjoying what you're saying. But let me say some of what I'm saying is not representing anybody. It's just opinion. The modern day high value women should hear this. It's not a crime for a man to say, I want to have 2, 3, 4, 5 wives. Yes, it's not a crime. In fact, the only place where the Bible talks about a man should be a man of one wife is those that are seeking for the office of a bishop and some high level religious position. So the modern women should know that the African, where we come from, a man's statue. It's not that we're putting the women and making the women look very inferior, but God wants us to expand. So having two wives is not a crime. Let's put this into the minds of the high valued women. Yes, I have to say this. Yes,
It's okay. That's a nice one. It's okay. Nice one. Let me remind you, if you have read the African history, but that's what, if you have read I'm coming to you now. Massive Mike, you said enough. It's okay. That's okay. If you have read African history, you will understand that in the olden days, we have women who married 5, 7 wives, husbands. Do you know?
Yes.
In the African, in the olden African, they will have women who married 3, 4, 5 husbands because they were rich and will stop it. You're so coming here to tell me that high value should understand. Now, if you're going to have 2, 3 women, how do I commit to you? There's no basis for commitment. I just please take
Anyway.
I'm just going to talk your money. That's all.
Anyway.
What I was going to say is, the crime there in the more wives is that one should be, first of all, treat each one of them equally. That's the first rule. The second rule is you also have to understand that these are human beings.
Okay. How can I commit to you when you're not committing to me?
But how do you know he's not committed to you? I mean,
when he has other women.
That's true.
Let me just answer to Mark, okay?
But I'm not even finished.
According to no, he put it there. I got to go there too. I got to go there. Somebody asked Jesus and said, is it right for you to write a letter of divorcement to your wife at any time? He said, how was it from the very beginning? What was the purpose of God from the very beginning? What was it that God purposed? He said, he that created them man and woman. God did not create
Exactly.
Adam and then created 3 wives for him. God created a man and woman. Today, in our community and our society, we saw Abraham married 1 wife. Sarah decided to give her maid from Egypt to Abraham. Today, we are suffering because of this. See what is happening in the Arab Spring? These are the descendants of Ishmael because of multiple wives. So we
But
know also, wait, can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? I know the Bible
Massive
never,
man, please, please.
no. I know the Bible never condemned, because in those days people used to marry many, many wives. But you will see that it is always good for you to commit to one woman because it's more peaceful. Whenever there are multiple women, I don't know how men can actually marry more than 1 wife. It is so difficult for you to be able to maintain and take care of one because you can never know a woman completely because every day is a new package, evolving. So to me, I know because in those days it was that way. In those days, they used to have slaves too. But we don't have slaves in our own modern time. In those days, Abraham married his sister, half sister, because it was allowed. And later on, it became not a law, it became against the law for you to marry, your own sister. So we see that there are things that I was allowed in the old days because of multiplication purposes that are not allowed in our time. So today, the Muslims, they marry 6, 7 wives and all that kind of stuff. I had a friend of mine who was a police commissioner. His wife actually wanted to bring her friend into the family, and he called me and was asking me, what should I do? I said, well, this is your religion. When you get married, call me. I will come. So I came to Lagos one time. He went to Ibadan, but he didn't do it. It was later that he told me that they got married. So, listen, for a man to have peace in his life, personally, I believe you only need 1 man, 1 woman. When you begin to multiply wives, there will be a problem. There will
You
be
want to
a
multiply your problems. You
that
get
is
to
what
multiply your
uh,
massive back. Wait, massive back. Hold on, massive back. Laura,
uh,
massive back. Hold on, Laura, please. This thing that massive back is
love you.
breathing.
Don't
I
have
don't know.
to.
I don't know where she is breathing this thing. Is that massive back wants to marry to a force on this set, on this studio? Laura, what do you think?
Massive marrying 2 or more wives was something that was allowed in the olden days. Even
mhm.
now, I know it's Igbo or traditionally you can, but as Christians, it's not allowed. It's not allowed. If you're a Christian, it's not allowed. If you're a Muslim, it is. If you're a traditionalist, it is. But looking at the times we are in,
Mhm.
looking at the times we are in, as a man, you will use your tongue and count your teeth. Because one, economically, you can't even take care of them. Emotionally, they will draw out your ear. Okay. I think any man that wants to try that now should just go and meet maybe a psychologist and check himself very well, because you're just trying to bring commotion, wahala, stress. In fact, you want to die early. That's just it.
That's it. That's
It's
it.
a massive
It
man.
might be
You
allowed in the olden days, but now
Okay,
we're not supposed to allow it as a man.
can I say something? The
it's
world
okay.
population, the world population stands at 8 billion as at last year December. Now, out of that 8 billion, 5 billion are women and 3 billion are men. Now, the men of 3 billion are little boys and men, made up of 3 billion. Now,
A massive man. It's okay.
George was going to the Bible side, and somewhere in the Bible, the same Bible George was trying to talk about, it says at a point in humanity, women
3 women.
will, not 3. I think the number is 7. He says 7 women will hold on to a man and say, let's bear your name. Let's please be under you. Let's be your wife to take away the shame and reproach from our lives.
Exactly. I know
Yeah,
it
now,
says in the Bible.
what is happening is that we are stereotyping polygamy because actually a lot of problem has come out of it. Division, infighting, all these things, and like Larry said, psychological, all these problems. So that has stigmatized polygamy. But if you look at it, even in the days of our ancestors, it helped humanity. It helped family grow their business. The farming, which was man's major occupation that time, grew because a man will have so many children that will work in his farm. And the Bible, as George was trying to say, says there's a part of the Bible that says, "Blessed is he that has his quiver full of children." Blessed is he that has his quiver full of children. Now, one woman cannot give you so many children.
Massive
Obviously,
back, wait. Massive back, you said it. Thank you. God bless you. Let me start from the beginning of your quotation. Let
respond
me
to
tell
him.
you, in the olden days,
My mom had 14 kids. My mom had 14 kids.
wow.
My mom had nine. My mother had 9.
So yes, that's what the Bible is talking about. About what multiplication of.
No, but I mean,
Massive back, massive back. Hey, let me tell you, in the olden days, our fathers were allowed to marry many wives because of family, because they needed more hands in their farm so that they can. Today, one person can grow a farm that will feed Africa. The only thing you need is money. There are technicals that you use to do it. Let me tell you, the one problem among the black men today is polygamy. You know, go to a lot of families. Brothers don't see with brothers. Some people they go to their house, they won't eat, they won't drink water. They are afraid of their brothers, they are afraid of their sisters because of polygamy. Polygamy is something that I don't wish my enemy. I've had friends who say that instead of me to marry to be a second wife, I'll remain a single lady because of their experience coming from a polygamous home. See, our men are advocating for this polygamy because of their longer throat. They want to have it all. Yes, most men they are advocating for polygamy because of their longer throat. They want to have it all. And Aisha, please, what do you want to have to say?
Yes, they want to have egusi soup. They want to have white soup. They want to have pepper soup. So, they believe that variety is the spice of life. But one thing that men should know is the women are not coming with "I love you" notion. They are coming because you've got property. They are coming because they want to secure their own future. They don't even care if you die in the process. All they want to know is grab one or two things for themselves and probably the children. Some will even insist on not having kids for you because they have their plan. So that's it. So polygamy is a no-no for me.
Bringing in polygamy to this discussion, it's obvious that this polygamy has really come into our personal life. That is why we, the young ladies who can have 3 or 4 men, our men can have 3 or 4 women. That polygamy
who is deceiving who? If the girls, there's a story that is going around viral on all the social handles for 3 days now. A man that walked out and saw his wife driving his car, and somebody now stopped him and said, "That's his own wife's car." So anyway, he eventually found out that the wife is married to 2 men. This is in Lagos. This is real.
Exactly.
So,
fairness to women. Our women were not like this before, and they are getting out of hands now. They were not like this before. Our men started it, and the women are trying to let them know that we can play this game too.
So
and what I'm begging our men to retrieve their steps. Two wrongs cannot make a right. But how many people know this? What young ladies, gentlemen and gentlewomen, I think this get too sweet. Our time has come to an end. We gotta go. I don't have time to give anybody to talk anything. I appreciate each and every one of you. It was a great discussion, and I believe that one or two people
Happy
relate something together
Valentine's
and make
to
the better
everyone.
one. Okay?
Yes.
At the end will
So we're
come
gonna have
here
our
today.
show
The
for the
show.
Valentine next week.
Oh God, the show is real
Okay,
talk.
yeah. So
In
please
here
let
we
us
talk
know.
everything about relationship. I
Yes.
thought you said what?
We're gonna have our last show before Valentine's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, so bring that promo please next week.
Okay, I will. I
Please
will.
bring it. So
Okay.
love you guys.
Okay,
Good
bye.
having you today. We are appreciating